So, what is an article? An article is a piece of writing that informs, entertains, or shares opinion on a specific topic. You will find them everywhere in magazines, newspapers, blogs, and even school assignments. But here is the key question. Do you enjoy reading your own article? Because if you don't, chances are others won't either. So make it interesting, make it personal, and most of all, make it you. An article should tell a story. Ask questions, be a little cheeky. You can use idioms, throw in a joke, or share that one time your brilliant idea completely backfired. How about the style? Keep it friendly and lively. It's like having a chat, just you and the reader. So vary your sentence length, mix things up a bit, and most importantly, keep it real. And no, it doesn't have to be formal. Think semi-formal to informal, like you're explaining something to your younger cousin or a group of friends over coffee. So next time you sit down to write an article, ask yourself, would I actually read this? If the answer is yes, you're on the right track. So how do you actually structure a great article? Let's break it down into simple, clear parts. As you can see, you need to write a title. Your first body paragraph is going to be your introduction. Then you have the main body paragraph, the second main body paragraph, and a conclusion. Title. You should grab their attention. Think of the title as your article's first impression. It should be eye-catching, interesting, maybe even a little bold. Would you click on it? If not, spice it up. A good title makes people want to read more. Introduction, or the part where you need to hook your reader in. Your intro should clearly show what the article is about and grab the reader's attention right away. You can start with a question, a surprising fact, or even a little story. Basically, make it impossible to scroll past. The heart of your article is going to be the main body, usually split into two paragraphs. This is where you explain your ideas in more detail. Each paragraph can have its own subheading to guide the readers through your points. Keep it lively. Use examples, personal stories, even humor if it fits, of course. You should keep the flow going. This is your chance to build on your first point or bring in a new idea, still keeping it engaging, clear, and connected to your main topic. Subheadings help break it up and keep things organized. And finally, you need to wrap it up nicely, which means time for conclusion. Here you can either summarize your main message or share a final opinion, maybe a recommendation or even a fun closing thought. Leave your reader with something to remember, or better yet, something to think about. And let's wrap it up, shall we? Here's what makes a great article. You should kick off with a strong introduction. The tone needs to be slightly formal or reader-friendly. A great article tells a story, and don't be afraid to get a little personal. And for sure, you can make general observation about society. So next time you write an article, remember, hook them, talk to them, tell a story, and keep it real. And of course, before you hit send or submit, take a moment to review your work using this simple checklist. Content, purpose and style, organization, and language. Run through these points before you finish. It will help you polish your writing and boost your confidence. So, what are examiners really looking for? Let's break it down so you know exactly how to impress. In the language section, you should show off your skills. but make it smooth. At this level, it's not just about avoiding mistakes, it's about using rich, sophisticated language. Use a wide range of vocabulary, go beyond the basics. Throw in those less common, precise words that really hit the mark. Your grammar? It should feel natural and effortless. Think fluency, accuracy, and yes, style. Every sentence should feel polished and intentional. Say something worth reading. You need to own the article format. That means using all the typical conventions: catchy title, engaging intro, clear structure, and doing it confidently. Express complex ideas clearly and make your points deep and meaningful, not just surface level. And above all, keep your reader hooked from start to finish. You should also guide the reader like a pro. Your article should flow beautifully. Organize your points logically and use a range of linking words, transition, and cohesive devices. Not just firstly, secondly. Go for variety. Make it seamless. Make it smart. It is also very important to stay focused and complete the mission. Stick to the topic. Every sentence should serve a purpose. Cover all parts of the prompt, don't leave anything out. By the end, your reader should feel fully informed and honestly, maybe even impressed. If you can tick all those boxes, you're not just writing an article, you're writing at C2 level. Want to sound like a pro in your CPE article? Here are some super useful phrases to help you structure your writing and boost your score. And yes, they sound great too. To introduce your topic, you can start with something that pulls your reader in. You can try something like, have you ever wondered? It's hard to imagine a world without. There is no denying that. We live in a world where. All of these phrases are perfect to set the scene and make your reader curious. When you want to show two sides of an argument, you can use phrases like, on the one hand, on the other hand, while it is true that, we must also consider, despite the fact that. These help show depth and balance in your thinking. If you want to give examples, you can just make a point. You've got to back it up. You can try. Take, for instance, a classic example of this is, let's take a closer look at. Examples make your ideas feel real and relatable. To emphasize something important, you want to highlight a strong opinion or a surprising fact. You can say something like, what is truly surprising is, without a doubt, it is worth mentioning that. All of these phrases will add emotion and strength to your writing. And finally, to conclude your article or writing, you should wrap it all up with something memorable. All things considered, ultimately, it's up to us to decide. The question we must ask ourselves is, so the next time you think twice. Your conclusion should leave your reader with something to think about or even take action on. Use these phrases smartly. Don't overdo them. But when you drop them, try to do it in the right moment. You will sound polished, confident, and totally C2 ready. But that's not all. You can also use certain phrases and expressions if you want to agree or partially agree. This is partially true. In some cases, up to a point, or if you want to do some statements, there is a tendency to, a large number of the times, usually they're inclined to, generally speaking, in some instances. Also, if you want to summarize something, you can use something like in brief, on the whole, overall, in short, and so on. Remember, you always need to share the purpose, and you can use something like, therefore, with the object in view or in mind, to this end, for this purpose. And here are some example article title ideas which are perfect for essays, blogs, or video content. So, which one would you write about? Let us know in the comments, please. On this part of the screen, I'm sharing one article with you, and this is a brilliant article, so if you want to read it and analyze it, please make a screenshot. So why this works? Look at the title of the article. It's thought-provoking, it's metaphorical, and intriguing. The price of perfection. Are we obsessed with image? The introduction starts with a rhetorical question, and it clearly sets up the central theme. In the body part, it blends social commentary with personal insights. It also uses rhetorical contrast to keep it dynamic. And at the end, we got the conclusion. It ends on a reflective and memorable note, encourages readers to think deeper. When it comes to the tone, it is reflective and engaging and semi-formal with natural idiomatic expressions. In terms of the language, we have a rich vocabulary. So why this works? It does work because you should follow the top advice for CPE article writing to maximize your score. You should hook the reader immediately. You should use a clear, engaging structure. You should use sophisticated language naturally. Maintain the right tone, also be original and personal, and focus on accuracy and range. But if you want to boost your score, what should you do? You should plan before you write, which is very important. You should always proofread, and this is something that most of students do not want to do. You should write regularly using past exam prompts, and you should also get a feedback from a CPE level teacher like me. Now, here is an article writing checklist. What should you do before writing? You should spend about 5 minutes just on planning. Have I fully understood the prompt? Who am I going to write this article for? Do I have to hook for the introduction? What are the 2 or 3 main ideas I will explore? What personal insights or examples can I include? And what is my final reflection or takeaway? Once you complete your planning, you can start writing. But while writing, you should pay attention to the structure, the language and the style, the accuracy. And of course, if it's easier for you, you can take a screenshot, and next time when you do your writing, you can just follow the list. Once you completed your writing, you should edit it in about 5 minutes. So you have to read and check your flow and replace any basic words with something that is slightly richer or more powerful. You should check punctuation, especially commas and full stop. And you also need to make sure you've answered the question and stayed on topic. And finally, here is another example of an article, which is called The Silent Power of Books in the Digital Age. As you can see, the introduction of this article starts with a question. Have we forgotten the quiet magic of turning a page? And that is a brilliant opening. As you can see, we have everything divided or well organized. If you take a moment to read this article, you will realize that it's very simple yet very powerful. So next time you do an article writing, just remind yourself it's not difficult and you can do it. And that wraps up our deep dive into CPE article writing. Keep writing, keep reflecting, and I will see you in the next video.